The most powerful member of the Democrat Party hitting the stage in Philadelphia tonight, President Obama, along with Vice President Biden and VP pick Tim Kaine, preparing to make the case that Hillary Clinton's experience makes her the ideal next commander-in-chief. Here on What to Expect is Joe Trippi and Hadley Heath Manning. Joe, you're a good man to stay with us. Thank you very much.
Happy to do
but
it.
I'm going to go to you first. I'm going to ask a very similar question. I want a specific answer, Joe. Very specific.
Yes.
What has Hillary Clinton done in her entire career as senator or as Secretary of State specifically to make the world a safer place? Specifically.
Well, this is one where I'm going to leave it to the president and her and the vice president and Kaine tonight, as well as I think a four-star general and some others who know much more about what she's done than I do to make that case. I'm not trying to avoid your question, but I do think you're going to see that tonight.
All right. Well, we will be watching, and actually that was a good tease for what we may see or may not see, because Hadley, her purview when she was Secretary of State was making sure that the world was a safer place and that America's position in the world would be for positive movement in world events. You look around us, and a lot of people would say that's a tough case to make.
That's right. It's not just Americans, but it's also our allies who feel much safer when they know that America is stronger. And this doesn't just apply to our foreign policy or to our national security, but it also applies to our domestic economy. When we can be a global superpower economically, when we can be a strong country where millions of Americans can go back to work again finally, this also gives us a better leveraged position in the world. So I expect the president to talk about the economy, to talk about his record, and probably to give the most positive presentation you've ever heard of the last 8 years, when many Americans will be sitting at home. His words will be falling on deaf ears because they know that the reality won't match his rhetoric.
Well, Joe, let me throw some specifics at you. Libya.
Sure.
She took pride when she was Secretary of State in trying to arrange a deal to make Libya a safer place. Clearly, it's not a safer place right now. She did the reset on Russia. Remember that big red target button she had and sort of making a joke of it? The reset with Russia didn't turn out too well. China's sort of an imperialist aggressor in the South China Sea. What about those places in particular?
Well, again, look, you can't, everything doesn't go right in foreign policy. You can't dictate what you want to have happen, although I think, you know, Trump thinks you can, and it will be interesting to see him continue to make that case. But I think what most Americans are interested in, I think, over the next few nights and for the rest of this campaign, is to hear the specifics. Are you going to be as supportive of NATO or not? Do you believe in expanding NATO? Where do you draw the line with Russia? And I think you're going to hear the candidates talk about all these things, and the people are going to make a decision.
Yeah.
She has a record as Secretary of State, of which I'm sure Donald Trump is going to make a case. She has a case against him because nothing he says makes much sense.
But Hadley, the thing about this on both sides is a lack of specifics. I don't think we're going to hear the specifics tonight because I don't think they're specifics that they can point to. I just mentioned a few with Joe. Where things are more dangerous, not less so in the world.
That's right, and the conventions aren't really the platform for offering specific policy items. You know, behind the scenes at these conventions, you may see the platforms that the party puts together. But I hope that we will see, I agree with Joe, I hope that we see in the debates moderators who are able to pin down some specifics on these answers about NATO,
let's leave it at that, because I think that's something we all agree on. The debates is really the format where we are going to hear specifics mentioned and hear the candidates answer those specifics. Perhaps tonight more platitudes. Go ahead, quick, Joe.
No, but it's more likely that we're going to hear name calling and things. I mean, I'm just saying that's how. No, but that's how the news cycles work.
Okay,
you know,
gang. The way we work is we're going to hit a hard break if we don't stop now. Thank you both. Appreciate it. Good to see you.